Bruh, I think I got OCD. Whoa, now, what's happening with it? How you? How your mom and them? Well, you saw the thumbnail, you read the title, so let's get into it. But before we do, let me just throw out this disclaimer. I'm not making fun of nobody with OCD. I'm not talking down to nobody with that. None of that. I just realized, and I've joked about it for a long time. Matter of fact, me and my wife, we have this long-standing joke about me having OCD. I've never been medically diagnosed with that, but just some of the things that I do in my life, right? So this morning I decided to go look it up and see what it says. I always thought it said excessive compulsive or whatever, but I realized that it's not excessive compulsive. It's obsessive compulsive. So I ain't gonna stunt. I googled it. I googled excessive compulsive, and it asked me, "Did you mean?" I'm gonna put it up on the screen, and I'm gonna read it for y'all so y'all know, and then I'll tell you why I say I think I got OCD. Like I said, we joke about it a lot, and it's not really a joking matter for the people who really deal with it. Mine is not as bad as some people that deal with it. Like I've seen programs about it, or I've seen documentaries about it, and like some people, they can't even run over a bump because they feel like they ran over somebody, or nothing in their house can be out of place, or they constantly washing their hands. And I'm that way to an extent. Let's just say that. But let me put it up on the screen and read it for you so you don't think I'm making this up. I mean, most people know about it, but you know, I gotta have facts. I gotta have facts because that's who I am. So anyway, check it out. Excessive compulsive behaviors are a symptom of obsessive compulsive disorder, OCD, a common anxiety disorder that causes people to have uncontrollable thoughts and behaviors. What are compulsions? Compulsions are repetitive behaviors that a person with OCD feels driven to perform. They are often a response to an obsession, which is unwanted, intrusive thoughts or image. Compulsive can include excessive cleaning and hand washing, ordering or arranging items in a particular way, repeatedly checking things such as that the door is locked or the oven is off, excessive counting, repeating words silently, and praying silently over and over. So the reason I say I may have OCD is because that one part about things being out of place. Now, my wife say I'm selective about that, and I think I am to some extent, because some things bother me, but I don't have to just move them right away. But some things, it's like, for instance, and this is really small, and the average person wouldn't even notice at our trip, right? But in our pantry, in our laundry room, you walk in the laundry room, you open the double doors. To the right is the little garbage can. Then in front of you, you got the washer on one side, the dryer on the other side, blase, blase, so on and so forth. So I usually do all of the sweeping and mopping, but sometimes while my wife is in the kitchen, and I'm going somewhere, so follow me. I know I can ramble, but follow me. So I usually do the floors. I usually do the sweeping and mopping and everything, all of the floors in the house, and vacuum and all of that. But so much for that. But sometimes while she's in the kitchen, she might drop some stuff or whatever, and she'll sweep it up or whatever. My little crazy mind, excuse me, my little crazy mind I always keep the broom on the side of the dryer, on the inside of the, well, like I said, the washing machine on the right, and we looking at it like this: the washing machine on the right, dryer on the left, then the wall. So in between the wall and the dryer is where I'll stick the broom and dustpan, right? So it's out of the way. But sometimes I go in the laundry room, and I'm going to either the clothes hamper or the clothes basket, or the the garbage can, and lo and behold, the broom is sitting either in front of the hamper or in front of the garbage can. Y'all don't understand. That's a whole roadblock for me. And I know y'all gonna say, why you don't just move the broom? Well, I do, but I'm just saying, and it don't stop at that. It's like if I do tea in the morning, and I'll make instant oatmeal for her. So I put the tea kettle on and do my little routine. Of course we got routines. When you deal with this, you gotta have a routine. Anyway, if I go in there in the morning and the teapot is out of it's not where it's supposed to be. Like, I promise you, I don't try to do this, but it's just the way my little mind works, right? Now again, I'm not like a lot of people that gotta wash their hands 1,000 times a day. I wash my hands quite a bit, but not like that. It's not as excessive as some people on some of the documentaries that I've saw, like that I've seen, like I said before. But keep in mind, I do have a routine, and the slightest little thing that's out of the way or in the way, or it's just like a whole roadblock. Like the average person to probably just push it out the way and keep moving. I gotta have a whole conversation in my mind. Now why she put this right here? She know Anyway, let me keep moving. So, like I said, we read it, I Googled it, we read it together, and so y'all know what I'm talking about. So it's a real thing, and y'all know that it's real anyway. But it don't just stop there. It stops and I've done other videos about it. Like when I did the video about what was it? I can't remember the exact name, but I'll try to put it up here somewhere. When I asked the question, why can't people just do the right thing, or why can't things just work out the way they're supposed to work out? All of that stems from that, because again, we have routines. Everything has to be in order. In some cases physically in order, but for me more so, the physical side is important, but the mental side is where I struggle with the most, right? Because again, why this can't just work out the way it's supposed to work out, or why this can't be the way it's supposed to be, or why it's got to change up, or why everything seems like a roadblock. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I just realized that, and I wanted to share that with y'all. And I also wanted to say to the people that deal with it or go through it, whether you were diagnosed with it or you know you're different. You can tell you're different. You know how it affects you and all of that kind of stuff. And for the ones who don't know, have some compassion, because it's rough. When I tell you it's rough, because you might be like, what's the difference? Why this even so important? Why this don't make no sense? But to that person, it does make sense. It makes all the sense in the world, because that's all they know. That's the only way that their mind works. And everybody's mind works differently. Now you have certain groups of people. It could be 10 groups of people with the same mentality or the same mindset. Not saying they're all exact same people or they think exactly the same way, but they can sit in the room and they can get it. They can get each other because, oh yeah, I deal with that. I go through that on a regular. And it's the same for us that deal with this. You know what I'm saying? So, again, have some compassion and maybe try to understand it a little more. Excuse me. Not that you have to. Not that you have to. Change your whole life around, or change your beliefs, or any of that. But just know that this is it's a real life thing. It's a real life scenario. It's a real life mental illness. You know what I'm saying? And when we talk about mental illness, nobody want to say they mentally ill because from what we know of mental illness or from what we've been taught, or they're in the crazy house, or they need to be in the crazy house. Trust me when I tell you, a lot of us are mentally ill in some way, shape, form, or another. And we don't want to have the stigma of saying that we're mentally ill, but that doesn't mean what it sounds like, and that doesn't mean the stigma that they put on that way back in the day. You know what I'm saying? We all struggling with something, and that's mental illness. You know what I'm saying? You might not be OCD, but you might, like, there's people that they can't function when they broke. There's people that can't function when they're not in a crowd of people or when they by themselves. I love to be by myself, so I can't understand that. But at the end of the day, I still have to have some compassion for those people and try to, you know what I'm saying? Try to understand or try to sympathize with them sometimes. You know, because I could never, right now today, I never understood why you got to be around all these people all the time. Why you need all of this attention all of the time. Like, people that need excessive amounts of attention, I don't understand it. But at the end of the day, that's a thing. You understand what I'm saying? And even though I might not need as much as that person needs, sometimes I need some attention too. You know what I mean? And I think I've said it before in videos, or I may not have. Maybe it's a video I'm supposed to make, but sometimes I need to feel relevant. Even though I'm introverted, even though I like to be at home, even though I like to be by myself sometimes, even though I don't need to be around a bunch of people or in crowds are too much, all of that. Sometimes I need to feel relevant. So in that case, I can understand, or I can sympathize with, okay, maybe they feel what I'm feeling 10 times more, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, OCD is real. Y'all know it's real. It's a medical thing. And again, I've never been clinically or medically diagnosed with that. But just reading some of the things that I read about it, I think I might be. And I'm not making a joke, like I said in the beginning. I'm not trying to make a joke about it or trying to put nobody down for it, because guess what? If I was, I'd be putting myself down, because most of these things I do. And that's why, not to switch up, but because it's the same conversation, but that's why some of the things in my life I had to stop doing. You know what I'm saying? Like I said before, we were all young. I used to drink heavy. I used to smoke weed heavy. I used to smoke cigarettes heavy. I used to, y'all know. But all I'm saying is, at some point in your life, you figure that out, or you understand that that you do that. And I think this is where wisdom and knowledge comes in, because I can't do those things because I get addicted easily. And I know that. You understand? If I started back drinking, I'm going right back to heavy, just like I used to. If I started back smoking, there was a time when I moved back to New Orleans from California, and it's going to be quick. I know I can ramble. But I moved back from California. I hadn't smoked in God knows how many years. It could have been, oh Lord, it was a lot of years. I hadn't smoked cigarettes, weed, and I was drinking barely, on and off. Like, I might drink a beer or two every now and then. That's how I was doing, right? So then I go back, and my brother has this bar at the time. And even then, I used to hang out in the bar because I knew all of the people. It was a neighborhood bar, and I just hung out with my brother all the time over there, right? But anyway, getting back to the story. One time I get into it with this dude. I mean, get into it. I mean, we didn't throw no hands or nothing, but it was that close. And just in that moment, I reverted back to what used to calm me down. So now I leave from there. I go to my brother's spot and I get a beer. But before I get to before I got to his, or did he have them already? No. Before I got to his spot, I stopped at the store and got a pack of black and mild. And sit there and talk to him and talk to the other people and drink some beer and smoke some blacks. Next thing you know, I'm on like damn near a pack of blacks every day. Just that quick. Because that's my, I'm saying all of that to say that that's my personality. You know what I mean? If I go out here and start cheating or I ain't gonna be able to stop. If I go out here and start doing a bunch of shit I used to do, I'm not gonna be able to stop that easy. Now the craziest part about that is when my willpower is on, it's on. I promise you. When my willpower is on, it's on. And anybody who know me, they know that. And my wife say that all the time. I don't know how you could do that. I don't know how, because over my years, I've gotten to a point where I got frustrated with weight up and down, and I lost a lot of weight. Or I've gotten frustrated with, just like with cigarettes and drinking and all of that. When I quit cold turkey. Most things that I've quit over my life, I quit cold turkey. But just like I quit them cold turkey, I can revert back to them just as easily. So it's always a fight, is what I'm saying. But I know who I am in that sense. I can't just pick up something. Just like I see dudes, grown folks. Young folks, I understand a little bit. Grown folks, I understand too. But like gaming, I wouldn't be able to get into gaming. Obviously when we were younger, we played, Galactica was my game. Pac-Man was my game. Stuff like that. But some of the young folks ain't gonna understand. But anyway, I'm talking about gaming like they do now. Like you got grown men playing Madden and the basketball games, and I don't even know all of the names of them, but they playing them games and gambling, and then playing the games where now they got the whole headsets and they talking to each other and playing together from your house, and I'm over here at my house, you way across town. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I wouldn't be able to do that because I wouldn't be able to function otherwise, because that once I get into it and I'm in it, I'm in it. You hear me? And so I might sound like I'm rambling, but all of this ties in together, because I'm saying that to say that that's all a part of obsessive compulsive. That's all a part of OCD. And we can recognize when even though we haven't been labeled as that, you know what I'm saying, from a professional, we can recognize the signs and the symptoms. And those are the signs and the symptoms. You know what I'm saying? But like I always say, if you don't get nothing else out of this video, I want you to know that it's a real thing. And people need compassion. And people need understanding. You'll never be able to understand it 100% because you don't go through that. I'll never be able to understand your plight or your fight 100% because I don't go through it. But I have to be mindful of that. And I have to be mindful that that's a struggle for you or that's a fight for you. And I might not be able to do nothing about it, but I can be compassionate. I could give you some grace. I could give you some leeway in some senses. Not to let people run over you because they're going through something, or let them run over you because give them an excuse to just dog you out. No, I'm not saying that. But sometimes we don't give a little bit. It's like, I ain't fooling with her. I ain't fooling with him. That fool, they just lying all the time, or they just trying to act like something wrong with them, but they ain't crazy. They just acting. Y'all know, y'all done heard it. We all done heard it. But anyway, I don't want to make this video too long, but it was just something that I realized because, like I say, me and my wife, we play about it all the time, or she play about it all the time because she be trying to be shady. She be trying to be shady, talking about, yeah, that's that OCD kicking in. And I got to admit it, I do have OCD in a lot of situations. And it's just across the board. It's just across the board because I realized that just like some of the other videos I made, if it's got to be this way, it's got to be this way. I don't like to switch it up. It don't need to be changed up. And granted, some things in life I know they have to change. Some things in life I know I have to do differently. Some things in life I know I got to show some compassion and give some grace and understand that this ain't going to always be the way I think it's going to be. I get that. Trust me and believe me, I get that. So that's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Don't go too hard on people who have something that you might not struggle with, or who have something that you might not have to deal with, because they're in a literal fight mentally, and a mental fight is always worse than the physical fight, in my opinion, because a physical fight might be 5 or 10 or 15 minutes and it's over with. You might get a black eye, you might get a busted lip, you might get some bruised ribs if the person know what they doing in the situation. You know what I'm talking about? But that mental fight, bruh, y'all know that ain't nothing nice. That is nothing nice at all. So show somebody some love, show somebody some compassion, and try to have a little bit of understanding for people who are different from you, or people that are fighting different fights than what you're fighting. You know what I'm saying? Because at the same time, you expect some grace and mercy when you doing what you doing. So if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notification bell. That way you'll be notified every time I upload a video, if you like the content. And for those of you who've been rocking with me, I appreciate y'all. I thank y'all for everything that y'all do. So y'all be easy, and we'll see you in the next one. One love.